G'day YouTube, Warbles on a lot here. Those of you familiar with the channel will know that for about 18 years I used the bar mix pressure wash, vintage something like 1980, all metal except for the plastic knob on the handle, and which over the years, as metal fatigue took its toll, failed multiple times in multiple ways, requiring multiple repairs. And by the time it came out of service, it was really only just barely able to be used. Worth noting that the lid locks on with 3 lugs, which are engaged by 3 passages on the lid, and then by operation of a screw thread, that system is tensioned against a rubber ring in order to seal the water. Inside at the halfway mark there is a baffle with perforations, apparently to generate more turbulence. As the clothes are agitated by tumbling the drum in whichever direction. Water goes in through the top, water comes out through the bottom. Can be a little bit messy and fiddly to use, but does indeed work. And like its replacement, the all plastic Wild Country Magic Wash, which has been in service for a couple of years here, they work, and they will wash the proverbial 10-litre bucket of clothes. To do that, you're going to use about 100 to 120 litres of water by the time you've washed all the detergent out by hand wringing the clothes, after first putting the detergent in with the water and the clothes and agitating it for a while so that the detergent can hook onto the dirt. I think that's how it works. Anyway, that's the parameters: 100 to 120 litres of water to hand wash 10 litres of clothes. T-shirts, jeans, whatever you can fit into a level bucket, these things will wash. So those of you who are familiar with my channel will be aware that I am possessed of a 84-year-old mother who is in the habit of buying things and giving them to me as presents, and she ordered this for my birthday about 7 months ago, and it was on back order and we had to wait, and coronavirus and all the rest of it, because you know it was made in China. So finally it shows up. This is the new all singing, all dancing hand-powered washing machine with a spin cycle, which, okay, so it was, 7 months late, but somebody's put an awful lot of thought into that thing, and we'll see how it goes. Looks pretty good on paper, as it is within the photographs and the instructions shown within the brochure, but by the look of that fella's hand and the look of the whole thing, over here we get into a little bit of a worry. Point number 2, do not put more than half of the clothes into the roller. Point 3, the water level of water injection shall not be higher than 1/3 of the drum. 4, to day proper amount of washing liquid, cover the roller cover and rotate to the right. Cover the waterproof cover and fasten the buckle. Lock and unlock. 6, insert the handle into the laundry hole and shake handle clockwise for 3 to 5 minutes. After washing clothes, take off the water pipe from the hook and put it into the sink to drain the sewage. If you need to rinse, you can use the water inlet pipe to wash clothes directly. Part 7 with 2 stars on it. Because the wet clothes are heavier after washing, first insert the income into the laundry hole, shake it quickly for 20 seconds, reduce the moisture content of the clothes, then insert the handle into the dehydration hole, rotate it quickly for 30 to 60 seconds. The dehydration effect is related to the rotation speed. The faster the effect is, the better. The product vibration during dehydration is a normal phenomenon. If the vibration is too large, you can visit the clothes evenly again to reduce the vibration. So, there's a fair bit of techno-chinglish in that. Not nearly as advanced as the cheap Chinesium chainsaw. And as you can see, this box has been previously opened, but there will be a maiden box opening, unboxing, later on in the video. This is more of a reveal of Chinesium busyness methods. We have a nice bit of packing. We have a well-made plastic base plate. And we have a device which will conveniently rest on its own base plate while we go looking to see what else is in the pack, which has a front and a back. We have a lid on the rotating drum. Inside which we have two pairs of legs. One pair of which are mirror images, but they're identical. And that turns out to be quite important in the sense that the other pair of legs, they have a different profile. So these are manufactured in a left and right hand version. And what we have here is effectively two right hand rear end support legs. Front support legs, trial placement. Rear support legs, trial placement. Here, as you can see, the right hand front leg fits perfectly. The right hand back leg fits perfectly. The left hand front leg fits perfectly. Whereas the left hand back leg, it doesn't fit for shit. It's just wrong. However, it's absolutely perfect as a right hand back leg. So they've sent us two right hand back legs, no left hand back leg. Everything else that you could wish for in a new experimental washing machine is there in the packet. It's just got one too many legs on one side and not enough legs on the other side. The other corner, shall we say. Which is all rather a pity because the idea seems to be pretty interesting. That's your filling hose, which stops you from overfilling the system. Unnecessary for me because I'll be pouring water in from the top with a bucket. This is your water drain pipe coming out the very bottom and hooking on with a rotatable nylon fitting moulded into the tub, which means that gravity is your on-off cock for the drain valve, while the fact that it's clear plastic tubing means that it should function as a depth gauge. Well, the way this thing's supposed to work is put your handle in the center hole, and in this configuration, you see what happened there? We've got a 2-to-1. Whoops, what's going on there? There we go, 2-to-1. Oh, gearbox not working. There we go, that's much more better. As you can see, we have the handle pointing up. Quarter of a turn. Half a turn. We've almost got a 2-to-1. Half a turn. There we go. And that is on the wash cycle. And there's a gear teeth meshing issue going on too. Which may not be fun to play with later on. Okay, after some small amount of disassembly and fiddling around, I think I got the hang of this thing. So, in this position, watch what happens. Starting from here at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a half. So we have a 5.5 to 1. That has to be pushed down. Normally that's getting pushed down when this is in place. That's why that's got such a hard lock on it. It doesn't fail unless you try to spin it with the cover unlocked. Yeah? Cunning, eh? Whoever made this thing was pretty smart. Two to one. I think it's 2-to-1 from the top. 1. 1.75 to 1. Step up ratio for washing. 5 to 1 step up ratio for spinning. So the theory is about 5 minutes with a hacksaw and a rasp should enable me to amputate that offending interfering lip, and that will mean that this corner of the washing machine will be dependent on only 2 screws which hold it together, and I can probably guarantee that I will be applying an adhesive along there. I may perhaps also add an aluminium extension and then screw through the aluminium extension, which will be glued onto the leg in order to engage these lugs down here. Don't know whether I'm going to push it that far. It may be easier to just sort of leave it with glue and 2 screws, but eminently fixable. However, having waited 7 months for it to arrive and paid $119, the old girl was a bit peeved, so she decided she'd ring them up and ask them if they could pretty please post her the correct leg so that it would all fit together and look nice and neat, because it was a present kind of thing. So she's 84 and she's trying to describe what was wrong with what they sent, and they finally come to the conclusion that yes, what they'd have to do is order a new set of 4 legs from the factory in China, and they thought that might take a month. Well, this was less than 2 weeks ago. And this is what I found at the posting of the office yesterday. An entire new, see, there's the old box, and around, definitely, actually, yes, it is indeed a complete new washing machine in order to replace the one missing leg on the first item shipped. So I guess that's just part of the cost of doing business with your Chinese model of quality control. You might have to ship 2 of everything when you sell 1 because perhaps half the stuff has got the wrong components in the box. I don't know. I don't know what their oopsie rate is, but so let's see what we've got second time around. A little shipping invoice. Okay. Well, this is an identical code which apparently bills the old girl for another one. I don't know what's happening there. She was of the understanding that they were sending her 4 new legs. Let's see whether this one has the correct 4 new legs. Maybe I've got one perfect washing machine and another one that's completely spare. Okay. Here we have a back and a front. And here we have a back and a front. And the 2 backs are mirror images of each other, not identical. So Yahoo, this is an absolutely perfect washing machine. So what I think I'm going to do is wrap this one up and put it in the shed, and I'll fix that there other one that's got the wonky leg. And when the one with the wonky leg breaks, that's when this one will be pressed into service. Or perhaps it might get used for spare parts, depending on how attached one can become to a washing machine with a wonky leg. There we go. So right. Yeah, cunning the way that locks in. There we go. I have one fixable and perhaps one perfect smart manual washing machine. And by the look of the paperwork, I think this one is going to have to be packed up in its box and shipped back to them. Otherwise they're going to charge the old girl $119 a second time. So there we go. That's Chinese business practices reviewed in real time. You ring up and ask them to send you a new leg, they send you a new washing machine. They send you the new washing machine, but they want you to pay for it. So they basically want to sell you 2 washing machines, one of which has got a crook leg. Bugger, I was looking forward to fixing that one up and using it today. Such is life. So, such is the saga of the evolution of the hand-powered washing machine. And when I finally figure out what's happening, whether I've got to keep a spare one and fix this one and use the fixed one, or whether I've got to keep the new one that's got all the bits and send this one back to them, I'll make another video and we'll find out just how much you can wash at one time with that little barrel there, the drum, which if that's how big a drum you need to wash a bucket of clothes, and this thing says you're only allowed to half fill the drum, you might have to wash 2 or 3 loads of clothes to get a full bucket. No, 2 loads to get 1 bucket done, but in theory, because it'll spin dry, you're going to use a lot less water and a lot less time. Because those things, unless you want to rush and hurry and wring out between each load, you're going to take 4 hours. You know, you start at 10 o'clock in the morning, and if you've finished doing the washing by 2 in the afternoon, that means you haven't stopped for lunch. So if this can get through a bucket of clothes in an hour and a half, maybe an hour, sorry, half a bucket in an hour, then it'll be twice as fast than those were. And after the old girl has another telephonic fight with the people at Innovations to find out whether she's got to pay for 2 or send 1 back, in the fullness of the time, in due course and directly, I'll make another video and we'll finish the saga. Warbles on a lot to YouTube. Ciao.